morning, land lovers. It is Friday, April 18th, and this is Chris and Deb, and we're on seeding. And the exciting news is we made it to Marathon in the boat. Woohoo! So we're in the Keys.
Yes, we are.
It was an eventful trip. Let's see, I think when we last stopped, we were in Factory Bay at Marco Island, right?
We were.
And we ended up being in Marco Island for almost 2 weeks. We had to get some diesel maintenance done.
Yeah, you gotta, they're just, like any engine. And we've been needing to have the heat exchangers redone. Those things suck up seawater all the time, and they get clogged, and they get, you just can't help it. So about every 4 years, or depending on how much you use the boat, and you can start telling your temperatures start going up, so you start to get a feel for when you're not getting enough circulation of water to cool the engines. You have to have it done. So we found a really good company up in that Naples area. I think I got their card here somewhere. Williams Marine.
And Jack.
And there we go. There's his card. I told him I would put it up there for you guys to see. I don't know if it's frontwards or backwards, but these guys here, Jack is the owner and does the work. He's got help, but he's here firsthand doing the work, and I like that. I don't, some of these bigger companies, they farm out the work to whoever. Jack's got tons of experience and all over it. So got all the turbochargers cleaned up and the water, the coolers cleaned up.
Heat exchangers.
So she's good to go for another 4 to 5 years. We thought we'd get it done since we're really going to start putting a lot of miles on her, doing the loop.
So we were at anchor for, once we got off the slip, we stayed at the marina at Factory Bay while that diesel work was being done, and then we anchored. And we had one eventful night with the anchor with a boat that was in front of us that we ended up having to reset the hook. And one thing I wanted to show you guys that we use while we anchor, it's kind of funny, but Chris and I are both golfers, and this is like a shooter that tells you how many...
It's a rangefinder.
A rangefinder that tells you how many yards you are away from other boats. So what we do once we get anchored, we use this and we shoot all of our landmarks around us.
Over and over and over and over and over and over.
Because I feel like we're moving all the time. And of course we are, because the boat's hunting around the anchor, so it's moving. So I ended up doing this at a lot of different spots just to make sure that we were moving. Okay, so we had 2 good weather days.
But I thought you were gonna talk about something else about anchoring. Putting the dinghy on.
Well, yeah. So
you're getting that.
We had 2 good weather days, Tuesday and Wednesday, the 15th and 16th. And after that, we had another 10 days of high wind days. So we knew we had to get this trip done. So Monday night, we go to put the dinghy on the back of the boat, and we can't get the crane to work. And when Captain Chris went down below, we found out that we had busted a pinhole through one of the hydraulic lines for the crane. So
yeah, a couple of things on that. First of all, I highly recommend that you not use woven stainless steel hydraulic lines. They're go rubber. They're uglier, but the stainless rust, and it's woven, and pinholes pop up. So, all in all, yeah, we're able to get the dinghy on the boat. Simple solution. We just needed to have the new hoses manufactured and rerun them. So wasn't a big ordeal.
Except it took all day Tuesday, which was one of our good weather days. So we decided to go into the Dolphin Inn and Grill. We had a nice dinner and a couple Coronas and came back and got the dinghy back on the boat. Everything worked great, except when we looked at the bottom of the dinghy after it had been in the water for 2 weeks.
Oh, the whole time?
No, the whole time.
Long time. Longer
weeks.
than 2 weeks.
Yeah. It was caked with nasty barnacles.
Yeah, and I wanted to get the bottom painted on the dinghy when we were on when we got the big boat.
It's black and our dinghy is white and it would look horrible. But after we spent almost 2 hours pressure washing the bottom of the dinghy in the dark that night, we decided maybe we should get the bottom.
Yeah, and when she says we, I made her do some of the pressure washing just so she learned her lesson.
Yeah. So anyway, we got the boat on the dinghy. We put our float plan together for the next day. And we knew that we had to go fast because we had a 100-mile trip to make in one day. So we got up. The fuel dock right at Rose Marina, which we could see from our boat.
On the anchorage.
Opened at 7 o'clock in the morning, and we were there at 7:06. And it was very calm and still, and Captain Chris did great pulling in, flipped it around, starboard side, so we could head out. Put 240 gallons of diesel in and filled up the water tank. And off we went, right on plan, 7:30. We were out Marco Island. And then the fun hits. Do you want to talk about it?
No, you're much better at telling these stories than I am.
So it's very shallow going out of the pass at Marco Island.
No, we did not run aground.
We did not run aground. But it was windy, and we had probably 3 to 4 foot waves, and CDN likes like 1 to 2 foot waves. So we were like doing this for how far out would you say to get out there? It wasn't a mile. Do you think it was a mile? Till we got to deeper water. But during this time, ice buckets are flying around. Chris's Garmin that's on top of the steering wheel's fallen off, and I have to hold it so that he can maneuver the steering wheel while I'm on the Garmin. Doors are flopping open. Things are crashing down below. It was funny. We went to one of the AGLCA seminars, and the lady described it as the inside of her boat threw up. So that's basically what CDN did on the way to get out of Marco Island. But once we got to deeper water, it was because it was so shallow there that the waves were so large. Once we got to deeper water and got around the point, it calmed down. There were a couple times Chris looked at me and he said, "Do you want to turn back? Do you want to turn back?" And I'm like, "No, we got to go today. This is our last day. Otherwise we're going to be stuck in Marco Island another 2 weeks." So we plowed through it.
Okay, captains, there's a lesson to be learned there. Let your first mate make the no-go decision. Your life's a lot easier if you do that.
Yes. So we got around Rice Island and the shoals, the Cape Romano shoals, but we had to go out a ways. Like, we couldn't see land again.
No, we were out probably 11 to 15 miles out.
Yeah, but the water was only 18 foot deep.
18 to 27, but beautiful. I mean, so clear and blue and just gorgeous.
And we went fast. So fast for this boat is 18 knots.
Yeah, anything over 17. It gets up on plane at about 15 and a half, 16. We got it up to about 20 knots. And
we were doing great, and then dodged a couple crab pots, and Captain Chris went to the back of the boat and realized that the front strap had come off.
The dinghy strap.
The strap that was holding the dinghy.
Well,
one of the straps
that was holding just the front of the dinghy. I mean, no, not a big deal.
Okay, I'm being a drama queen.
Yes.
So, Captain Chris put his life jacket on, which was a good thing. Crawled down there. We put the boat in, barely going forward. And he crawled back there, and it was still a little wavy, and hooked the safety strap back up, and we took off again.
Yeah, so I've ordered new straps. Our straps right now, the hooks that go around the boat aren't closed. So I ordered on the internet today ones that have a clasp on them. So it's just where it got loose and just popped off. So I got ends now that close. So that shouldn't happen.
So we're still learning. We're learning a lot.
Well, the other thing that's funny now that we were learning is Deb comes running down to make lunch, and when we're on plane, the boat's leaning. You're right. I mean, it's still got some plant to it. So Deb came downstairs and opened the refrigerator, and all the glass fell out.
Everything came out of the refrigerator. Our Corona bottles, our tuna salad.
It took her like 20 minutes to make lunch, and I was like, "What the hell have you been doing?" She goes, "Everything fell out of the refrigerator."
So I guess that's another lesson that you had tried to talk me into, was putting locks on the freezer and the refrigerator. I'm like, we're not going to need that. We go slow, right? Okay, so yeah, that was kind of a mistake. So the rest of the time, we basically stood at the windshield and dodged crab pots all the way across Florida Bay. We passed Everglades City. We passed Shark Island. We didn't get to stop at any of that. We left at 7:30 in the morning, and we got to the flashing green marker probably about, 1 o'clock?
Yeah.
And we called the marina and let them know that we were getting close. And the marina that we're at is absolutely amazing. It's called...
Nah, we were told we can't advertise it because we don't want it to get crowded.
Oh, that's right. It's our own little secret spot. So anyway, we called them and told them we were on the way, and pulled in, took some videos, because 7 Mile Bridge from the water is really amazing. I mean, it's 7 miles long, so it's really long. So took a couple videos coming in and pulled into our slip with no issues. At about 1:30, they had great staff here to help us. We were able to pivot and back.
They actually gave us some nice little coffee mugs when we rolled in.
Yeah, like
thermos, I don't think they're Yeti, but they're nice thermos coffee mugs. So very nice of them.
Yeah. So we are here, and we are very excited, and we actually rented the slip for a month. So we'll be here till Monday, and then we're flying home to take great care of our grandson for a couple days, and then be back the following Monday.
And then out of here right now, weather dependent, right, on May 15th, May 14th,
we
May
have
15th.
the slip for a month.
Yeah, so we're really excited. I've been pretty slammed working Thursday and today. Those are my busy days, so kind of stuck on the boat now. But we got dinner at a really nice Italian restaurant tonight, which is in walking distance. And yesterday, right at happy hour, the bar, the outside bar, the pool, they were having a trivia night. So we went down there and had a cocktail and hung out in the pool, in the hot tub. And, yeah, this place is very nice. So,
are we putting the dinghy in tomorrow and exploring on the dinghy?
Yeah, so I think what we're going to do is drop the dinghy tomorrow and go do some exploring, check out some of the beaches, and there's other restaurants and bars and things. Maybe do a little snorkeling. Try to find some dive sites. Kind of get some coordinates lined up for those so we can dive at some point in time. Hopefully our son Nick comes down and joins us on a couple of dives. The cool thing down here is they're really wanting everybody who's diving or snorkeling to go after the what do they call the lionfish? The lionfish. The lionfish are very evasive and they're not good for the area. So they're actually paying $5 for every lionfish that you bring back to a local dive shop or whatever. So we're going to take our spear down there, and there's a special bucket that you use that you stick the lionfish in. So we're going to do some of that. And then certainly we're going to make it down to Key West. When we fly back, on the 15th, we're going to get a hotel room for one day in Key West and just sort of explore that whole area. Been there before.
You have.
Yeah. But certainly need to see it. So
I think that's it.
Yeah, I don't know what else.
It's been exciting.
Yeah, it's been a good trip. And the weather's been spot on. We're meeting a lot of new people, a lot of loopers come through this area. That's how we found out about the place. So
no pirates yet, just salty old sea dogs.
That's right. So we thank you for tuning in, and we'll
catch you next time.
Well, we'll get some pictures and some videos posted to kind of back up what we just said, and we'll see you next week.